We're only asking for the same thing we got last year. That's it.
That's on, right, Wayne?
Yes, it's on.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
I know that you guys had a serious increase in the cost of,
The contract.
The
yes.
contract.
It's going to go up to $32.75 per hour
Per EMT.
Wow.
per EMT. And that's because, from what I understand, workman's comp is going up. Somebody said by like,
George, you're rolling, right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
somebody says workman's comp's going up this year by about 50%, they're saying, they're estimating.
What's the hourly for paramedics?
I don't know what it would cost.
Because
These
that's
are
part of the
EMTs.
contract too, right, isn't it? Or?
No.
Oh, it's not?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
All right.
Okay? I'd like to thank all the town board for your continued support and the fact that you're updating one of our ambulances. Unfortunately, because of the supply chain, they usually come in like 6 months. We're at about 12 to 14 months now, and now they're telling us if we order another one, which we're thinking about, that the ambulance corps will pay for, it's 18 months minimum.
How's that going to affect you with your, like, fleet replacement program? Are you going to, I mean, obviously you're going to be running one of the rigs longer, I assume, right?
Well, right now, we have two rigs in the shop. We actually have one of our own rigs, and we had to borrow a rig from KJ.
Really?
KJ's lent us a rig for our
Nice to
second
be good
calls.
neighbors. That's good to see. Awesome.
Yeah, we have a very good relationship with them in Blooming Grove and Woodbury.
Yeah, no, they have a great EMS service there.
And right now, there is a crisis in Orange County as far as getting ambulances to come up. And the volunteer numbers are dwindling. We're trying to reinvent how we do things. We're looking for members who are willing to ride and those who don't want to ride, to do administrative work. I have 3 administrative people doing ordering for us, checking our ambulances to make sure they're fully supplied. And we're trying to put the word out there for a membership drive for riding members and non-riding members, to take the load off the riding members.
Yeah, so just to be clear, so the number you're looking for is 290,880?
Yeah, that's,
For what?
for that total you're talking about?
Talking about in total.
In total. I got to add that up.
Hold that thought.
Yes, right now, we get 27,000 for the contract.
Yep.
Right, we cut down the money gave us for equipment to 25 last year, I think it was, right?
So that's 32.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, equipment was,
medical?
I'm sorry, what was that?
540.
Okay. Oh, it's 28, I thought it was, okay,
I'm just telling you what we have from,
Okay.
okay, 28.
The contract is 27.
yeah? EMT coverage?
That's,
That's the one that's going up. So without overtime, that's going to come in at 204,360.
4,360?
Right. And you have to pad that a little bit because we were trying to figure out 10 or 11 days,
which are
which
holidays.
are going to be double. So I can,
Life support, intercept?
that can probably stay the same.
That will stay the same.
What was that number?
32. So what did you have for emergency medical equipment?
Last year, I think last year you dropped it down to 25 because we were buying an ambulance. We were trying to work the numbers last year.
Helen, what do you have? I have,
Yeah, so I have 28,000.
28, okay.
Yeah, and, yeah,
so, and really what I'll do is, if you want, what the board will do, is play with the emergency medical number so we could get down to that 290,880. Because you've already gone up almost 3,000 on the ambulance contract.
Okay. Just let us know what the number is because
Yeah.
we took with Stryker to replace one of the stretchers. We took it over a 3-year period
Okay.
with no interest. And eventually, we're going to have to replace all of our stretchers. We're replacing one with the new rig that the town is supplying. And then as we replace the ambulances, we're gonna have to replace their stretchers, because the maintenance costs for those older stretchers is pretty expensive. It's like
Did you happen to see the ones they developed during COVID?
Which ones were that?
It's not for ambulance use, but they developed this,
Oh, the one, the hospitals, it was developed for hospitals, I think it was?
yeah, it was like, it was done in like 60 days, they developed this thing, and it was like as compact as you can have, parts were minimum, and it was unbelievable, just to help add beds also to the hospitals.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. So, all right. All right, so, I mean, we'll work around that and get you in at that number, $290,880.
Okay.
Does that include,
That doesn't include the capital money that we put aside each year for the purchase of a new ambulance.
you read my mind.
Yeah?
And just to let you know, for this year, so far, on that medical equipment, of the 28, we've paid to 15,335, and that was for 3 Lucas devices.
Yes.
So there's a balance of 12,664. So if there's something, you have in mind, by the end of December,
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Good. Any other questions? I had asked you, I think, Wayne, and I know that, or I had asked Alan. I asked Alan. I'm sorry, not you. I asked Alan.
Right.
When the new rig comes in, if you could take it down here for a meeting.
Oh, yes,
This way the
of
entire
course.
board and
You-
anybody else that's here
you-
can take a
yeah.
look at it.
You emailed me also.
Yeah, okay.
Not a problem. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll have it.
12 to 14 months from now.
Hopefully, that one is.
Let me tell you how crazy it is, okay? So, we ordered 3 new highway trucks last December. 2 of them came in. So today I was over at Highway, and we had a little meeting, and I found out that the third one, which is a double axle truck, the delay on it was one of the piston compartments that helps tip the plow. Yeah, tip the plow. And they're not able to get that until January at the earliest. So what Highway did is, well, how about we pull it off the truck that is being replaced? We'll give it to you, and this way you could deliver the truck. And then when the part comes in, we'll obviously have a spare one, because it's pretty universal in the trucks we have. So that's what we're doing. Otherwise, we would have had to wait till January, which now you're losing a plow truck, which
Yeah.
we can't lose. We need. So,
But that's going on all over.
yeah, it's insane.
And what you also see here, Blooming Grove's been helping us, because they're picking up a lot of our second calls.
Okay.
So that you'll see a Blooming Grove Blooming Grove a lot here, because they're not having as, with their volunteers as we're having, the other corps. They seem to be the stronger corps in Orange County now, like we were 2 years ago. We used to help them out, now they're helping us out. Yeah, we use for mutual aid, we use Blooming Grove.
Times.
Rob and,
They are, but we're fortunate, some of our college kids, even though they get away to college, they went to EMT school. So when they come back on the weekends or between Christmas or in the summertime, we're training them to make sure, after they pass their EMT, that they understand how we do things and what it's like, so.
so, want to give that course here you had talked about?
Yes,
The, CPR course?
I can give you a CPR course, you let me know when.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I think
Right
it's
after
good.
the first of the year, we could do that. Because I thought about that. We haven't done one for you or the village.
All right,
Okay?
thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You You have a great evening. Appreciate your time. Appreciate all you guys do on the ambulance corps.
Well, we appreciate your support.
Yep,
Very,
always.
very fortunate to have such a professional EMS corps in this town.
Yeah.
And it's, listen, it all comes from the top. So, thank you. Not the town board, that doesn't come from
No,
the top.
no,
but the
I
EMS
knew
corps
what,
does.
I knew what you meant. They're top.
We knew exactly.
All right, have a nice evening.
Good
Bye-bye
night.
now.
I'm just kidding, Mr. Supervisor. It
I
comes from
knew.
the top.
Listen, it's okay.
I fully, you
It's-
know how much
listen,
I appreciate
don't-
your leadership here.
I don't mind getting ribbed. Park Commission, Anthony and staff,
Come on down.
come on down.
The price is right.
Just introduce yourself for the record so that those that might be watching know who you are.
Okay. I'm Anthony Vaccaro. I'm the chairperson of the Park Commission. I'm here with Chris Sullivan, who's the administrative chair, and Mary Beth Burton. And we make up the budget committee for this year. So we, with, you know, contribution from our commission, we put together this budget and a 5-year plan that we're enthusiastic about. We appreciate the village's support and the town's support, as this is a joint park commission. Andy Calvano, who's also on our commission, just walked in, and Joe Mancuso, who probably got held up in traffic, is just getting here, and he's our activities director. Oh, sorry.
Always locked.
You know, I noticed that last week, that
I had propped it open.
I'll get it. Relax.
So, did you give us a copy of the 5-year plan?
I believe we did, but I think Joe also brought copies for you. Do you know, Joe? Did they get a chance to review it? So our park commission is at 9. We have room for one more from the town, so if anybody from the public is listening and want to volunteer for their community, we welcome that. We have a few new members this year who are just getting up to speed.
That'd be great. You guys know anyone? Recommend. So, go through the 5-year plan. I guess if we can get to this year's budget, you're requesting the same, not the same amount. You're requesting a 4% decrease over what was the actual 2017 budget, correct?
Yeah, so so our increased proposal is about 9.7% over last year, but it brings us back to what our budget was in 2018, which we would like to reestablish.
The amount you're requesting is 793,1196.
Yes. That's the total budget for 2022. So, you know, 90% of that, or about that, don't hold me to that number, is from village and town tax revenue, and the other portion of that revenue stream is from park fees. Yeah, last year was 281,054.
What do you feel, or how do you justify that increase?
So the line items are fairly flexible, you know, within the total budget. But what we like to do with the 5-year plan that we proposed was to gain back on our fund balances, which are relied on the projects that we do in the park. So in 2022, we want to continue with the playground upgrade, and we want to expand our fitness trail and refurbish our benches. And so those are somewhat, contained in small parts of the project, but really rolling forward, to start to build back our fund balance so that in the years that follow, we can start to plan for bigger projects.
Okay, so just to clarify that, so you're talking about capital improvements?
Yes.
And what's the total cost of those capital improvements?
In 2022,
Yes.
we have about 580 in capital improvements. That includes a playground upgrades to the boat for $6,000, outdoor game room for $100,000, fitness trail expansion $35,000, park benches and concrete pads for the park benches $40,000, and a picnic area and pavilion upgrade for $200,000. So, and the other thing is, I wouldn't get hung up. These are ambitious goals for 2022, and I realize that.
Yeah, and that's great. Listen, I think it's great to have those kind of ambitious goals.
But those are the kind of ambitions that, we look forward to building our fund balance to getting. And the thing that we're running into, especially in the park, the pool of contractors that come out for bid either have to be specialized or in what they do. So we have a small pool, and it seems to drive up our prices beyond what we estimate. And we've been in positions where we've gotten, what we thought were very credible estimates from engineering consultants, and our bids will come in 20, 30% higher.
Even 50 or 60 for the playground.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Mary Beth?
I think the playground bid was over 50% under, we were estimated at 275,000, and I believe it was well over $500,000.
and then when we saw that number, we revisited it to see how much we can do within our own staffing and to trim it down to the basics. So I don't know if you've been over to the park, but, we substantially cut that bid by, just subbing out portions of it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it came in about $130,000, or less than that. So,
Just repeat that into the
yeah,
mic.
thank you, Joe. So the concrete work that we did was $30,000 to do that perimeter sidewalk around that playground by the activities building. So, we really thought that was what we wanted to get started, but we want to expand on that with the boat and the rest of the landscaping in that area.
We're really needing to act as our own GC and break up. We're really needing to act as our own GC and break up stuff and keep the parts small. So,
No, yeah, that's great.
we're working as best we can that way, but if we actually want to build a structure to have indoor basketball courts or something like that, it's going to be a lot of money, and there's no vehicle to save for that kind of project.
Yeah.
And just for instance, the playground, we had.
Oh, can you grab the mic this way? Thank you.
And I just wanted to say with the playground, we had to keep that under $35,000, even though it's in-house, because over that, and then it would trigger having to go out to bid for that. So that's what we try to do. So we did as much on the playground to have it visually look like the engineer designed it, but without having to go out to bid. So the rest of it has to be done. The boat has to be completed now. Landscaping has to be done. A lot of the stuff you don't see had to do with drainage. that we were able to put in-house last year. So that's why we do those projects to keep it under bid amounts.
Has anyone reached out or spoken to our grant writer for any of these projects?
Oh, yeah.
Please go ahead.
Well, you know, traditionally, we don't do grants only because we have a residency requirement. And if we were to take state, federal, or even county money, then we'd have to open it up to those. Those people
I
contribute.
agree with you. I'm just, because there are some grants that don't have those specific requirements.
Well, yes, I don't know of any, tell you the truth, but that's how the playground got built on Franklin Avenue.
Correct,
Right.
yeah. So what I will do is, let me reach out, let me talk to Pete Toohey and see if there's an avenue for grants, whether it's a CDBG grant or some other type of grant. I will tell you this, about a year ago, I went to the Warwick Valley Chamber of Commerce dinner. I was asked to go as a guest, and they were acknowledging the people who built the park in the village of Warwick. It's stunning. It's stunning. I think it was $400,000. And what they did is they had a committee they created, and they raised the money through grassroots, sponsorships, people giving donations, and I thought it was a great way to, fund a project of that magnitude without affecting the tax
Well,
payer.
and you know firsthand, Tony, that's Pop Warner and the lights. I mean.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That's how that
Yeah,
happened.
that's how that happened in '88. So yeah, so I think, what is their fund balance, Helen? Do you have access to that?
Right now, it's showing around 692,000. That is just in the unassigned fund balance, and then obviously you have other accounts that you have for lighting and reserves for different things.
I think that actual number is closer to 470 in our books, but.
Yeah, Mary Beth, if you could talk into the mic, please. Thank
So
you.
I think it's around 470 in our books without, like with the other items distributed around however they go.
Okay. That's not in any of our accounts? That's in,
But when you say, are you talking about the the projects that you're,
No, it's just when we track it, I would get a fund balance from the end of the year when you guys are done with your books and put that in, and then, so maybe I'm not.
Started the 5-year.
Sorry.
I was going to say, Mary Beth started the 5-year plan probably 2 years ago, and at that point, I gave her the fund balance. So we've been guesstimating how much more is going into that fund balance after we do all the reserves and lighting and that stuff. All right.
Joe, because I know I was talking to you about it today, for any of these capital projects that you're
Ellen, could you just move the mic a little closer? There you go.
I'm wondering if a park is allowed to set up like capital project funds, so that this way it's like a reserve, so that in your budget, rather than at the end of the year, your money just going into one fund balance, you can take money from your budget and transfer it into park reserve for certain items, either a playground or a building. I'm not sure if New York State allows that for parks. Obviously, it does for towns and villages.
Yeah, we discussed that, and we're very interested, or me personally, I'm very interested in it. I like that idea because we know where that money will go,
Right.
such as the municipalities will do with their reserves for their equipment. I'm
Right.
not sure if we can do that, and that's one of the difficulties of working through it, because from my experience, we've never been able to establish a reserve. I'm not sure why. And then the other thing is, as our years go on, our goals may change based on community needs. So right now, some of these projects are a 5-year plan and they look great, but maybe 3 years from now, we want to redirect our projects.
Yeah, obviously you consulted your attorney to find out if what would work under New York state law. Is that like a non-determination on his part, whether you can establish such a fund?
I don't think that's ever been posed to our attorney, but Joe has some experience with the Park Commission.
Well, my understanding is that because we're not a municipality, we can't, I think the biggest problem with that is we can set up a reserve for truck replacement, but it's only going to be for truck replacement. Okay, setting up a reserve for a possible project 5 year down the road, it's not specific enough to justify, because as Anthony just said, 2 years ago, it may have been, I don't know, the Field 6. If you look at today, I think the priority might be a pickleball court. So that wouldn't have been part of a reserve that was set up for that. So we do have to see if Steve can figure out a way. But it's always been in the past that, we can't put a lot of money into a reserve. And I think there used to be a dollar amount where you couldn't go over a dollar amount with your reserve according to your budget. So.
Thank you.
So you have a contingency account? Is there a balance in that, or is that just the unassigned fund balance that?
They haven't,
It's on the top of page 1. It's just a line item, so. That's basically unassigned fund balance that they would put in there?
but they haven't put anything in from that for this year.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Have you estimated what your carryover from this year is going to be going into next year?
Well, I did a rough, because of the, I got the year-to-date, and the year-to-date had something like $200,000. So what I figured out is what our monthly expenses are, figured the last couple of months. Bottom line, I think I came out with about 100,000 fund balance this year. That's before we take out all the money for reserves. So, so we're probably looking at about 60 or 70,000
Okay.
this year, without any surprises.
How you doing? All right. My concern is that we're looking at almost a 10% increase over last year's budget. So I was hoping that maybe if we could maybe split the difference there, and you could carry over some of the fund balance that you have left over. So if it's like 10 or 12 grand, that would really help us out. Because
Okay.
I just want you to understand. So I put the same number in that you had as last year into our budget. And right now, as of today, because we ran this report today, we're about 4,200 under the cap, but we haven't even addressed salaries, electric costs, or any other additional expenses that we might incur, that we're kind of going through right now just to see where we are.
Yeah. No, I
So-
understand, and
so-
we haven't addressed salaries either, to tell you the truth. So our budget, and if we go back to the park, and the park does salary, that's going to have to come out of our bottom line. It's not where it's going to,
Yeah.
we're going to add to it. The other thing is we do take fund balance back each year. Last year, to kind of help us out, we took $75,000 back from our fund balance. This year, we're talking about taking 40,000, and this budget is 40,000. So again, going back to what I said, $75,000 of fund balance, and then if we take 40,000 of that, that's going to make this year's fund balance $30-some thousand. So,
Okay, so by taking that $40,000 in fund balance, you're lowering essentially the
Yes,
park,
we're-
the
we're
village and the
lowering-
town's
we're lowering what we're
contribution
raising.
by 20 grand.
Right, what we're raising by taxes.
Right, so which essentially would put us at, let's say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 288,000 per municipality.
Well, no, that's already included in the budget you're looking at, that 40,000.
So, Tony, if you look at one,
Yep,
the J, the 599 account, which is the appropriated fund balance, you can see under the 2022 column, they have 40,000 in there, so that's already figured into the whole total of that 790.
where is it on page one?
Very, on
Top.
page one, very top, on the last column that says 2022,
Yep,
it says proposed 40,000.
all right, just so you know, mine says 0. Talking about our budget or their budget?
Budget, their budget.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Yep, I got it. No, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
So they already have it in, it's already in that 790 that they're asking for.
Got it. I'm sorry, I was looking at the 2021 budget worksheet with expenditures, which doesn't have it there. Okay. That could have been avoided if I was looking at the right sheet. So. Okay. Ed, Mr. McGinn?
Okay. Any questions?
No, I mean, I think it's challenging times for all of us. This is, obviously a great presentation. And like I said, if we could trim some of that back, it would help us going forward. And if you could possibly get it to the town by October 29th, that Friday. That would actually make it the 28th, because we have a public hearing on November 3rd.
Okay, thank you very much for your
Right,
time.
thank you all. Thank you all for your volunteer work. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Mayor, did you have any questions or concerns? Well, you know what? One other thing, I'm sorry. Can you just go through your 5-year plan quickly?
So those are the remaining for 2021. It's just some repairs in the cameras.
Okay, I'll start with 2021. If you have the 5-year plan in front of you, we've been looking to install a security camera system. We're working with the village to do that, and now we're working with the town.
I believe we've been in discussions with the town.
Yes.
I actually got the information from Jen as far as the person, and I want to contact them and see if they can give us a quote on the cameras. Have you opened that bid yet, or?
No, the
Yeah,
bid, well, we started the
No, we
process.
haven't opened the bid,
Well, we
but
haven't
we
opened the bid yet.
haven't selected yet.
It's due the end of this month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that,
at
see,
first-
that's something that I would think you could apply for, and not be affected as far as residencies goes, but I'm not positive of that.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because-
Why do you think that?
You gotta speak to the
Yeah,
grant
I mean, I'll
writer
speak to the
and see.
grant writer, but
Okay.
you're not dealing with an apparatus that somebody would have access to, or you're not dealing with a field that somebody would have access to. You're dealing with a system. Yeah, I know it's a contribution to the park,
Yeah,
but
it's a benefit to the park, too.
yeah, it's a benefit to it, so
Right.
I could be wrong. I'm just
No,
throwing it out there, and
I'll
I'm gonna
pursue
have Khalib from Millennium reach out to you.
it. Okay.
You know, these guys are
Okay.
top notch.
Initially, what I thought when I heard that Anne Marie was getting new stuff, and she said she's getting all new stuff.
Yes.
So I know she has monitors and stuff, so I thought maybe we could just tie in with that and maybe get some of that equipment.
Yeah, well, let me say this. If you want to tie in with it, I think the best thing that could be done, and I don't know what you're doing with the village on it, but we're actually taking it in the town, we're taking it to the next step, and we're going to tie that system in with cameras at Monbassia Park and down at the boathouse, so that Anne Marie or whomever is monitoring it has access to what's going on at any particular time in real time, right? And he's the specialist in it, so.
Well, I'm not.
No pressure.
I'm not sure what I don't want to sit in front of a monitor all day long.
No, I mean, you look
No.
at it on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not real time when you're
Okay.
looking up at a bank of screens. It's it's as simple as pulling up the app on your mobile device and looking at it there.
Okay, it's as simple as somebody pulling up their.
Well, somebody, yeah, not me, of course, but
Okay.
somebody that's technologically savvy. But
I
I mean,
mean,
it's a fairly easy thing to do.
Right, because I mean, I firmly believe that anything it's going to happen at night,
Sure.
and we're going to have to go to the camera and try to.
Right, you're gonna have to do
figure
a
it out.
low light camera that would pick up anything. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to sit next to you, Joe, because I'll be asking you questions anyway. Okay, we, next on for 2021, which I think was done, was the patching and repair of the basketball court and tennis and hockey rink. So those were minor repairs. For 2022, as mentioned, we want to continue our expansion on the playground area that we started in 2020, which includes upgrade of the boat and landscaping around the new concrete and refurbished playground equipment. We're looking to do an outdoor game room to create a covered area for outdoor activities, games near the beach volleyball and courts, and purchase cement equipment for table tennis. We have Fitness Trails Phase 2, which is a continuation of what the trail that we put around the ball fields. And that would continue towards the Forest Road and the wetland section. And then for better maintenance and ease of maintenance around the concrete benches and park benches, we want to do concrete pads and under the bleachers and the benches. And then we also want to upgrade the picnic areas and barbecues that we have around the field. So if you've been there right now, they're uninviting, and we'd like to make it something that families would want to go to the park and use. For 2023, it would be continuation of the fitness trail through the park and connect to the wooded areas. Would be an extension. We also have, in 2024, we talked about providing indoor space for basketball and/or tennis, and for potential use to the shelter for yak campers in inclement weather. So that is a big number for $700,000. In 2025, we're looking for playground upgrades, Phase 3, which would be replacement of outdated equipment, updated landscaping, for $125,000, and field lights, which is valued at $1 million. And then in 2026, we are looking to do the stage and redo that and that's a $500,000 project. And the bathrooms and the upper pavilion is another $500,000. The other thing that we're looking to do, which I don't think is on here, for 2019, but we're still exploring, and this is a subject near and dear to our heart. You know, we're concerned about development in our area and around the park. If you see the corner lot that's on Spring Street in North Main, that has changed hands, and we were looking to possibly do some land acquisition, so we've been exploring that. And, you know, depending on where and how much and at what time. But that's an urgent issue for us because of, you know, land is forever, and if we don't grab it now, then it could be developed. And we think that's an important asset for our community and quality of life.
Thank you. Questions?
I just think the land acquisition, you may have to push up a little bit further as the development continues. That's the only thing that I see in this plan is that you may have to push up that calendar for land acquisition around the park.
I agree, and I'm glad you brought that because this speaks to our discussion earlier about, you know, creating reserves and dedicating money for specific projects when other projects could take priority, and having that flexibility to be able to do that, you know, is taken away if you set up reserves.
And just to kind of clarify, are you talking about contiguous lands, or are you talking about off-site?
So we're open to any. So I think we could do either or both, but it's a conversation that I think should be discussed at executive level.
Can I make a suggestion? I know because of the park is limited to those who live in the town of Monroe, and that puts a limitation on grants, and I get that. But perhaps you may think about doing what they do on public television, maybe encourage people as, you know, they can also contribute through inheritance. You have lifelong members of the community that I think wouldn't mind passing some of that on if it was put towards the park. I mean, it's just an idea. That's completely up to you. I'm just making a suggestion. I don't know how far it'll go or if it won't go, but that's all I'm suggesting.
Thank you. We're always open to ideas, and you know, anytime we can come back and follow up on that idea, we would like to do that.
Yeah, it's just a con. Thank you.
Thank you again for maintaining beautiful Smith Clove Park, making it a gem here in the community, and we appreciate the hard work that you do to keep it that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
That to the front. Yeah, just in case, I just don't want to get hit with questions, and I need numbers that I don't have access to.
Mandy?
Mayor, do you have any idea or intention of what the village is looking to contribute? You'd go with the 308, the 10% increase? Okay. Excuse me? Yeah, for the most part, yeah, but I know in years past you had given more, so. All right.